Welcome into Take Flight. We always have the wonderful Christopher theme by my side.
What is up?
Oh, nothing much. We're just here with a new men's head soccer coach here at Northeast, Adam Potter. It's great to have you in here. So let's just get it started right away. Let's get you to introduce yourself, where you're from, what about soccer you love. Just give us all the details, everything you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice to meet all you guys. So I'm born and raised out of Chicago, Illinois. Went over to play at Northwestern, then traveled and coached down in Phoenix, Arizona for a little bit. Went back to Northwestern, coached there, and then took my last job over in Casper College. Started that brand new JUCO from the ground up, and obviously now took flight over here at Northeast. I just absolutely love the passion for the game since I was a little kid, and just fell in love with it, with the style of play and just the ability to go and chase greatness, and seeing how much it means when you go and score that goal, how hard people work, and the determination to put the ball in the back of the net. It just rings home.
Yeah, I mean, I never really got into soccer, so maybe I'm just missing out. He's a soccer nut too.
I love soccer.
He kind of knows what's going on. So when we get into like the insides and outs and all the rules, I'm just kind of like, kick the ball, score the goal, all that fun stuff. But it's awesome to see when people get that kind of drive in them when they're, like you said, when you were little, you just kind of had that intuition. I love soccer. This is what I want. That's how I kind of took on football when I was a kid. Like, I love this. This is my passion type deal. So you've been all over the place doing this. And obviously now you're here at Norfolk, Nebraska, and you've been here for roughly 2 months or so?
Yeah, 2-3 months.
So compared to all the other places that you've been, what's your favorite thing about Norfolk and Northeast? And then what's kind of the one thing that you wish would be improved upon?
Yeah, I think a lot of times, and I tell this to when I recruit kids and stuff like that, coming over to a place like this, I said, I've traveled around to many Division I, Division II. I've sent 8 out of my 11 guys from Casper now playing at Division I level. And I said, I've seen a lot of these kids playing all over the place and traveled around and played at a lot of these other JUCOs in the nation. And I said, one thing that Northeast has compared to a lot of other schools, at least soccer wise, is the infrastructure here. Like, we have the setup where these student athletes can find success on and off the field, right? We have the setup and the tools to help these kids grow and develop academically, athletically, in everything that they're doing. And, I was just really blown away when I came out here to check this place out and just see everything that it offers. And it's just, it's kind of really blowing to me to see all that stuff. I think the other thing is, when I was actually deciding if I was going to take this job or not, I was actually on a workout in the town, and I went on a little jog, and I ran into this older gentleman, and he basically, he had no idea who I was, right? And we just started shooting the breeze just like this about anything and everything. And he started, he found out that I was deciding that I was going to take the job out here, right? Well, next thing you know, he finds out that I was, interviewing here, and he's like, oh, starting to tell me about the city, starting to tell me about the school, and just like showed the amount of love, care, support that I was like shown. I was just absolutely blown away, because I've never been in a place that's shown so much love, care, support to someone they don't even know. You know what I mean? Like, when you're in these bigger cities, I think you get it just takes away from this close-knit group. And I think that's kind of what the culture here is at Northeast, is just a close-knit family. I think the community is just very welcoming, wanting to help out in any which way they can. I just remember walking in day one, and Joe Meyer, the high school coach, just comes, wraps arms around me with open embraces me and stuff like that. And just, we started working together right away and building a camp we've already done and stuff like that. And so honestly, for me, that's kind of one big thing that I think that this place can boom and just really grow from, other places that I've already been at and found success at. I think this place has that kind of same ceiling.
Okay, yeah. You mentioned the camp. Was that the camp at the YMCA?
Yep.
At the field house? How'd that go? I mean, I love going to the Y. I love that field house. Number one, our baseball and softball team both use it to practice when the weather's kind of, Midwest Nebraska weather. And number three, I love going in there, throwing the ball. You see a bunch of kids also playing soccer in there. It's a beautiful facility for some place like Norfolk, Nebraska to have, kind of like Northeast campus here. It's like no one would expect the campus in Norfolk, Nebraska of Northeast Community College to be as great as it is, but it really is great. So how'd that kind of go? And was that your first look at the facility there?
Yeah, I mean, we've been training there all winter long, a couple times a week in there and stuff like that, and obviously developing and growing in that manner with our team. But then the facilities wise is just unreal. I mean, it's a big thing that I always, again, tell recruits and tell people around here, like we have the ability to grow and develop as student athletes here, and help push and develop. Because the biggest thing about JUCO, in my eyes, is your development. You see the biggest growth in your development as a player between your freshman and sophomore year. And if you have the tools and the capabilities and the resources to push yourself to grow, because when you go and transfer to a Division 1 or Division 2 program, they're expecting you to walk in there and start day one. They are. And so I think we have those kind of set up with the facilities, with our weight rooms, things on campus. And then obviously the YMCA is just absolutely massive for us to go and utilize, especially when we have these winter months and days like today where it's absolutely freezing out and windy and stuff like that. But no, the camp was fantastic. I mean, we put it together really quickly. We had about 65 kids in there. I invited a bunch of other friends of mine from the Midwest, other coaches. We had 6 or 7 other universities out here. Basically came to help coach. We would each run a little training session. And then what ended up happening is then the kids just played. And so I helped basically put a document together so that those coaches could see their contact information. They could get to know them. And so a lot of the other coaches like Midland, York, would take kids from there as well. And then I obviously took like 3, 4 kids from there that are going to be joining the Northeast squad next year as well. And so it was just a really cool thing. And obviously all the coaches said that they're going to come back next year. There's a lot of things that I can tweak and we'll make it a lot bigger and grow from that. But it's obviously a good starting point to something that hasn't been here. It hasn't been going on with the men's program. I think it's just a great way to, see Nebraska soccer. We had teams coming, kids coming from Lexington, Grand Island. We had a bunch of Omaha kids coming in. So we saw a bunch of kids from all over the state. And obviously a lot of juniors were out there as well. And so I got a bunch of kids already on the radar for that.
There you go, keeping in-house, keeping in-state talent
Yep.
coming on home. But we're not going to get into the specifics of that. But one thing I wanted to just mention that's pretty great is that like you said, you've only been here for a few months, and you're already well known in the community. You're getting involved with things. You're out there in intramural sports. I think your team beat my team in my final game in the consolation bracket. I mean, it's a bummer for me, but it is what it is. But it's great to see that you're kind of being welcomed into the community here, not only at Northeast, but in Norfolk as well. And you mentioned when you were kind of, debating back and forth when you were offered the job or kind of thinking about the job that, you ran into some guy while just doing a workout, and then it just kind of went from there. And that's kind of the community that we're in. And I wanted to go more into your mind of like the X's and O's of why you took this job. What potential did you see? What do you think you can create here at Northeast for the soccer program?
Yeah, like I said, I think the biggest thing is this place has the infrastructure to find success. And what I mean by that, like I talked about, is this place, it can grow from, your development as a player from your freshman to sophomore year is huge. And I think we have the resources with our weight rooms, the why, the way that the athletic staff is so supportive of one another here. The academic professors are such on a great team here, wanting to help out and help these kids find success in the classroom. And just everyone's doing their part here. And I think, honestly, truthfully, I think this place can go and, do something great and do something special. Like we just played 4 scrimmages this past spring against 4-year schools, and we went 4-0. And
Wow.
obviously this past, the most wins the men's soccer program's had in program history has been 6, and obviously we've, almost got to that point this spring. And obviously that's just a testament to the boys working their tails off, and obviously being dedicated and bought into, the different visions and different things that are, different philosophies that are getting implemented into the program. Like I remember watching the first training session with the boys this past spring, and I just let them play. For I could see their creativity, so I could see what their tendencies and habits are, right? And I think the one big thing I said out of there, and I'm like, what is going on? What are we doing? Like I just like it was just so very like direct, 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 and obviously my style of play is a lot different than what was going on there, and so obviously we started learning and teaching and implementing those different ways and different things. And guys asked a lot of questions, and we were able to, guys are able to start changing their mindsets from what it was like to where it's at, and the same thing defensively where it was at. But in all seriousness, though, I think, I'm very excited about, the potential what we can go into next fall. I think I'm excited about where this place can grow, and not just on the field, but on and off the field. I think this place can really, boom. I think one thing we're going to do is we're going to be doing some, going out in the community, helping out in any which way we can, trying to get involved with the local clubs, local high school here, any which way we can with my guys can go and, be involved. We're going to go try to do that as well. So not just finding success in that way, but on the pitch as well.
Yeah, I love the ambition, and I love the way you kind of speak of them. You call them the boys. It's not like it's. It feels when you say something like that, it feels more of like a family versus like I'm a coach and these are my players. It feels like this is our group, and it's kind of great to hear you say something like that. And we'll get to X's and O's. I'll let Chris maybe ask an X and O question.
Oh boy.
If you got, I guess I don't know how soccer play is run or anything, but my final soccer question for you is when it comes to head coach philosophy, there's a lot of different things. How would you describe, like, if you had to just wrap it up into a sentence and then maybe go into an explanation of like how your coaching style is and your coaching philosophy?
Yeah, I think the easiest thing, I'll kind of sum up my kind of philosophy for this kind of off season is, champions are born when nobody is watching. It's kind of been our kind of, motto or little thing that we kind of been saying at this point in time of this kind of off season period is you got to put in the work right now to find the success going into the fall. Right. And so I think it's kind of a big thing that we're kind of trying to zone in and guys are trying to see is it's not finding success is not given. It's earned. Everything in life is earned. You know what I mean? And so it's a big thing that I'm trying to, show to the guys, like going on to a 4-year school and getting an offer is not just given to you. You have to earn that, if you can, I always tell guys, the offers come by this. As long as you take care of your grades in the classroom, you find success on and off the field, and you take care, and you lead on and off the pitch, you'll get out the door. You get out the door. And so I think guys are seeing that, hey, if I do these things and I work hard in these areas, it's going to help me go further in life as well. And so those are kind of little couple of philosophies and sayings that we've been kind of implementing into this kind of off-season period right now.
All right, I dig it. And I mean, I couldn't agree with you more on how champions are made, in that off-season preparation. You get your work done. A lot of it's weight room. I guess I don't know if you guys get in the weight room or how soccer does that necessarily, but I know a lot of sports training in the weight room, conditioning, all that fun stuff. So I mean, it's getting after it when it matters the most. And I guess I don't know if you have any questions because soccer is your expert. If you don't, we'll move on. But if you have questions, go for it.
Yeah, I like when you were, getting hired and when you got hired, I kind of looked at your former college and you like that college was so good in soccer. What kind of formations do you run in that kind of, college, I guess?
Yeah, and it just depends on, I like to take it game by game and I like to very scout in depth with my opponents. And so there might be tactical adjustments you're making game by game and personnel by personnel, where you're making an adjustment to go and approach a certain player or a certain scheme that someone else is running to try to take it away. It's kind of like a chess game, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's basically like a chess game that you do. But I mean, we've ran multiple different formations from a 3-4-3 to a 3-5-2 to a 4-3-3. Obviously, like I'm not going to go and say all my kind of secrets on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
The easiest way to kind of approach it and stuff like that is soccer is a very fluid game, and it's a very interchangeable depending on your opponent, depending who you're playing on that day. If you're going and pressing, if you're sitting off, if you're, I mean, we did a game this kind of spring where we adjusted to our opponent at the halftime, and sat us a lot deeper to let them come at us. and then we just countered and attacked them and ended up scoring 3-4 goals in the second half. It just depends on who you're playing against. What are they doing? What are they trying to take away from us? And obviously our personnel also can make adjustments because a certain player might do something better than another. And so that those adjustments can be made as well. So that's kind of, it just depends on the formation and different things like that. But every game is different. And that's how I kind of approach it. I don't have like, this is what we're doing. This is how we're going to go and approach it every single game. I think the easiest way to put it, I make a huge document for guys that I recruit. And it includes like my mental philosophies, my transition philosophies, my defending, my attacking. And those are kind of like our base philosophies that those can stay true no matter what system we're running.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So my last question here is, who do you think is better, Messi or Ronaldo? Who is better?
I'm a big Ronaldo fan.
Okay.
I love the way, the passion, the drive, and he's so slippery and finds himself in dangerous areas all the time. Just finds himself in dangerous areas all the time. Not to say Messi doesn't do that, but you always just see him getting in the right place at the right time. And as an attacker, like that's who I was and stuff like that. And so I just, I love that part of his game.
Exactly. Okay.
Hey, and Ronaldo brought Tom Brady out of retirement too.
Exactly.
So
You're not wrong.
There's another thing
you're not wrong.
Love about him. And we'll wrap up the soccer talk there, but I want to talk about Adam Potter off the field. If it's a, relaxed kind of day, what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, I like to go on just work out or go on runs and stuff like that and just clear my head, get my thought process going. And, I'm really big at just going and watching sports and different things like that, like March Madness, NFL. You mentioned Tom Brady. I'm a huge Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. Not because of just Tom Brady going in there, but my dad has 7 brothers. And so basically what happens is each family member was given a different team. So like my dad's a Bengals fan. Oh. And so basically when all the nephews and cousins were all born, we were given a different team. And so no one was taking the Bucks. And so obviously when I was born, I was given the Buccaneers basically by just choice, And so every time someone's born in the family, they're given a team. So there's only one person in my family that's a Bears fan. And so even though they're from Chicago. And so no one in my family is a Bears fan. So like my mom's a Broncos, brothers, Packers. So everyone is given a different team. So it's kind of cool and unique, but it's able to stir the pot within the family per se.
There you go.
Yeah,
kind of spun it out. He's a Broncos fan.
Yeah,
so
respect.
There's that. You got any Saints fans in the family?
We do. Yeah.
All right. Well, whoever your Saints fan in the family is, no offense to you, but they're my favorite.
Here we go.
No, but I mean the Bucks. They're kind of getting it back together. What did you think of Tom Brady kind of leaving and then coming back?
It scared me for a minute there because I was like, man, now we got to rely on Kyle Trask and this Florida boy just coming in here and stuff. I didn't know what to think because I was like, look at all these scenarios. I had, a part of the time there, I had Deshaun Watson on my screensaver because I thought he was coming over here and everything as well. But I was so worrisome that we were just going to go back because we had all these guys that are free agents right now, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was very worrisome that he's gone. Every single one of them is going to go out the door. And now it's just been the complete opposite effect where we're now kind of title contenders again in the JV per se NFC, because the AFC is just absolutely stacked now with all these trades going on.
Yeah. I mean, it's insane. All the movement in the NFL has just been, some people are saying the wildest offseason ever. And, I might agree because you get Russell Wilson. I thought the Saints were going to get Deshaun Watson. So I was almost doing the same thing. I'd be working out at the Y on the treadmill upstairs. YouTube Deshaun Watson highlights. I'm getting hype. I'm running on the treadmill. I'm like, this is my quarterback. And then next thing you know, just kidding. I'm like, man. But no, guess you were in San Diego. Tell us about that. San Diego March Madness.
Yeah. So basically every year I go to March Madness. That's kind of like my big trip out of the year. And I go with all, guys from college and stuff like that, and my brother and stuff. And that's kind of where we go to a different city every year to kind of go see a new city that we've never been to. And then also go and witness March Madness. Right. So went down there and I think the best games were on the second day. Got to see Arizona versus TCU. I think that was my best game by far. I mean, we saw Notre Dame versus, I think it was Texas Tech.
Texas Tech,
but Arizona, TCU. I mean, the game was just one of those games where there's people standing up for 13 minutes left in the
Wow.
game from 13 minutes on. And it was just kind of crazy because it was like it made you feel like there was 2 minutes left in the game,
Mhm.
but there was 13 because every possession was so big. And they had that big guy, number 4, Kenny.
That literally
Eddie.
could not be stopped.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, literally just triple team him.
He had the crowd hyped. He had the bench hyped, and it was just so awesome to see the kind of passion and drive he was playing with. And yeah, it was awesome, man.
I got to get your opinion. You were there. Foul was that a foul before the Steele almost dunked to win the game, or clean?
I was on the basically like I was equal with the backboard, so I couldn't see it. Like we were on the lower level, but we couldn't see like right where his body was at. I thought like him coming into it, I thought it was a foul at first. But again, I didn't have the angle where he was driving if there was enough contact or not. But regardless, why did the Arizona player not shoot that ball?
That's what I was freaking out about. I'm like, dude, you have to have enough awareness. You don't have enough time to go and dunk it. You got to finger roll that thing up and get it in. But
he's right there.
He was steps away. And I mean, thankfully, Arizona got it done. I don't know who you have in your bracket or if you filled out a bracket, but Arizona ended up getting it done in overtime, 85-80. But I mean, man, he had a shot to end it there. No time left on the clock. That would have been an exciting finish.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, that would have been insane.
Did you fill out a bracket?
So I kind of do a unique kind of bracket style that I kind of created when I was back in high school. So I kind of do it with my brother and some friends. Is we basically draft teams, and then kind of you get to win or lose basically by playing against. You play against each other each round, right? And so it's kind of a unique style. But I also I did create a bracket and stuff like that. It's gone to shreds. I kind of banked on the SEC doing big things because everyone was hyping it up, and I kind of blame Bobby Frost, the social media guy, because
that Mizzou alum.
He's basically like, the SEC's so good. The SEC's so good. They're unbeatable.
Mizzou's trash.
That's exactly. And so I just was a little blown away. Like I think between him and Justin, the assistant basketball coach, all this SEC talk around here, it like kind of got in my head. I'm like, oh, the SEC is going to go and like win this, and it's going to be an SEC final.
Yeah,
I had Tennessee going to the final, right? And so just absolutely not going to happen. But to be fair, though, I still have UNC in. I got UNC winning it all. And
okay,
so
go.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
but I think they got a good shot at. I mean, they've been playing hot from the end of the year, and I think they can go and make some noise against UCLA as well.
Yeah, so I think so.
We'll see.
Did they scare you when they had a 25-point lead go away?
that was unreal. But it was. I think it scared me. I can't remember his name. The guy with the long hair. You get that flagrant foul
through the elbow.
Yeah,
through the elbow. Whatever.
And he was on fire the whole game, right? And then next thing you know, he gets ejected out of the game, and so. At that point, I was really nervous because he had the passion, he had the drive, he was lighting it up all game long. And then you take that best player out, it just opened everything up. And Baylor's press was just, it's very fierce,
Yep.
And so I was a little worrisome at that point, but they pulled it out. They pulled it out.
To be honest, I was hoping Baylor would win because, I had them moving on. But, UNC, absolutely dominated Marquette, and then they come out and almost lose to Baylor, but they get it done in overtime. And now they have UCLA, which is winnable. I also have UCLA moving on in my bracket, so I will be once again rooting against the Tar Heels. But it's just a common theme. They're my mom's favorite team, so I have to give her crap about it if they would have blown the 25-point lead. But it is what it is. I have Villanova winning my championship, and you have
Gonzaga.
So we're top heavy, and you 2 seed, 1 seed, 8 seed. So you're kind of more of the betting man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I guess so. I just try to look at who's playing hot at the right time, and I thought Tennessee was playing hot at the end of the year, but obviously I was clearly wrong with that. I'm also excited to see, Miami put on a show here. So there's a boy from Chicago that I actually saw him when he was playing as a freshman in high school. His name's Charlie Moore, the Miami point guard. Saw him when he was a little boy playing over there, and I think it's going to be cool. He's actually playing back in the United Center this weekend against Iowa State, and I think they'll win that game and then go and play, Kansas or Providence to go to the final. And I personally think he's going to raise his game. He's been doing big time things the last couple games in the first round. And I'm interested to see, now playing back in Chicago, your hometown, how that's going to raise his game and, maybe raise Miami's level as well.
Yeah, I mean, you got to put on for your city,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
fine. Put on for your city. And one final thing I just want to note for the audience here is that St. Peter's, who beat Kentucky and then
What a
went on
team.
to beat Murray State, and now they got Purdue,
Yep.
who's a 3 seed. But I think it's kind of crazy that we have a volleyball player here at Northeast that's going to go play at St. Peter's. Alexis Kapalis is going to go bring her talents to St. Peter's and show what she can do. So there's a little bit of Northeast connection to that 15 seed that everyone seems to be rooting for in the country.
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess that's all we got. We had Adam Potter on today, a fantastic podcast. And for Christopher Thiem,
yep.
and I'm Irvin Doman, and this has been Take Flight.